Hi, I'm Stacia Devine.
Okay.
Please state your name and your societal problem that you chose to ameliorate in your policy memorandum.
I'm Claire Devine, and our societal problem was drug usage among students in Ulster County, New York.
Recall back to early September. What was your group's TPE selection? Was anything done to ameliorate your TPE high school issue?
Our TPE was the cleanliness of the bathrooms in Marlborough High School. For example, the lack of working soap dispensers, the health concern of only having hand dryers available, and the frequent issue of toilet paper not being available. And I believe the soap dispensers are now working, but other than that, there wasn't a clear solution that, carried through.
What knowledge did you gain from the initial TPE and working in groups, if any?
I learned that you need to provide evidence in order to support your issue and explain why the problem is a problem, and to give a list of the people it affects and how it can possibly affect them, and to make sure the solution is feasible if you are presenting a possible solution for your issue.
What does public policy mean to you, and how would you define players?
Personally, I think public policy relates to the laws and principles, both written and unwritten, within society, and it's a system with the intentions of improving society. And players are the people in society who hold the power and have the power to create and change the rules, laws, or policies within society.
How well did you know how to search databases before the course, and has that ability improved during the course?
I did not know too much about searching databases before. I'd used them one other time for a project last year in English, but other than that, I wasn't too familiar. And the ability of searching databases has most definitely improved after working in the library with Miss Mersan in the beginning of the course. And that period of time really helped expand my knowledge on the process and the topic of using databases.
What setbacks, if any, did you experience during the course?
There weren't any drastic setbacks that I can recall, but I would say the biggest obstacle was being confused with the introduction of new topics like creating and reading trendline graphs and projecting data.
Name a politician or player that you learned about through the course and how they influence policy.
I learned about quite a few politicians throughout the course, especially local ones such as Scott Corcoran, who is the town's supervisor. And I learned how he influences the town, specifically the architectural policies and the creation of new buildings, and for example, the dock that was created, and how they draw in tourists. And it was interesting because I became educated on certain things that he does influence that I wouldn't expect, and vice versa.
In what ways has this course changed your perspective on society and societal problems?
This course has changed my perspective because it allowed me to see other people's views within society, whether it's political perspectives or not. And I was provided with more insight on how the government works and the steps that are needed in order to make an effort to ameliorate an issue within society, and also how there are players' intentions to help society, but sometimes members within whatever the establishment is, either the government or administration, can sometimes get distracted from their goal and their good intentions by their own personal endeavors or desires.
How has your senior year so far impacted your plans for the future? Have they changed or stayed the same? Explain your response.
So far, senior year hasn't had a substantial impact on my plans for the future, but I can say the challenging college classes I am taking this year, opposed to the ones I had took last year, are giving me more of a realistic insight to the classes I'll be taking in college. Also, I know I've become more independent this year, and that gives me more confidence when moving forward in life and taking the next steps in the future.
Which of the following guest speakers from this semester stood out to you the most and why?
I would say Pamela Downey from the Red Cross stood out to me the most. First, because of her personality and her outgoing ways, but she also did a great job at conveying the message of how important donating blood is for patients all over the world. And her speech was interesting because she informed the class on various reasons why the patients would need the blood. For example, the people that struggle from sickle cell disease, or if someone gets into an accident and it's crucial for their life. And she told us a story about an accident that she had seen and was on the scene for, and now she's close with that person, and that story stayed with us, me specifically.
Describe your public policy solution in your policy memorandum, including the policy tool, the governmental agency that will implement the policy, and the geographic location where it will be implemented.
My policy solution is to drug test students that were assumed to be under the influence, and the policy tool for our policy would be direct government action, and the high school administrations within Ulster County will be implementing the policy.
Who did you select for your exercise 10.4, Making a Difference, and why?
I chose Irene Scatoro, my grandmother, for this exercise because she embodies the characteristics of what it means to be a role model within the community, and she had given 40 years of her life to the Marlborough School District, which shows her dedication to her community.
What are your own personal strengths that you identified in the course?
One of my personal strengths is identifying problems and presenting the problems, and in return finding solutions for the specific issues. Also, after working in groups during the course, I have identified my strength of being flexible, especially when working with others.
What are your weaknesses? How do you compensate for them?
One weakness is that I'm a procrastinator and I delay completing my work, which as a result increases my stress levels. However, I always hand in assignments on time, but I stay up for hours very late to compensate for the procrastination on my part.
Were there any conflicts in your group work? If so, describe how you handled the conflict. Give an example.
There weren't any major conflicts with the group work. I would say the biggest challenge was dividing the work evenly between all of the members in the group. And we handled it as if one person did more work on one module, then another member would carry a heavier load of work on the next module, and so on.
What classes or experiences have you completed to prepare for your desired career field?
In English class, I would participate in Socratic seminars where I would defend my stance on a certain topic presented, which prepares me for my desired career of being a lawyer. And I have experienced a day in the life of a lawyer when I visited my uncle's legal office recently.
Tell me 5 traits you believe a successful employee should have. Which one do you need to work on?
5 traits I believe a successful employee should have is punctuality, integrity, reliability, flexibility, and one's diligence when completing tasks. I believe I have to work on punctuality because I tend to be more laid back when arriving on time to school. However, I've been working diligently on being time to school first period.
Tell me about your proudest achievement.
I would consider being in the top 10 of my class to be my proudest achievement because it shows how hard I've worked over the last 4 years and how much effort I've put towards my academics.
Give me 5 words your teachers would use to describe you and why. Give me 5 words your friends use to describe you and why.
5 words my teachers would use to describe me is 1, intelligent, because I do well academically. 2, meticulous, because I'm very precise when completing and handing in my work. 3, social, because I like to participate in class and talk to my peers. 4, hardworking, because I put in the effort to complete my assignments and clear confusion when I don't understand something. And 5, respectful, because I show respect to my teachers, the staff, and my classmates. My friends would describe me in 5 words. 1, as loyal, because I always support them. 2, funny, because I make them laugh frequently and have a good sense of humor. 3, responsible, because I'm always looking out for them and making sure we're safe. 4, compassionate, because I care for them and their feelings. And 5, intelligent, because I always help them with their assignments and provide them with information they need or help.
Any additional questions you may have for the interviewee can be added on the end. Also, if you have any additional comments on the course or any feedback for the instructor, they can add that at the end also.
Do you have a question for me?
How would you rate the course and the instructor on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would rate the course a 9 out of 10 because it's very informative and involves real-world problems that we are able to find solutions for. And I would rate the instructor a 10 out of 10 because he's very knowledgeable and educates the class while also having fun. Okay, that's the end of the interview. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Wait a minute.
No. Okay, wait.
All right, let me try. Because. That's good though. You're good. You're learning. Now what? This